Welcome to today's explainer. You know that feeling when you're staring down a massive mountain of academic PDFs? It's completely overwhelming, right? Well, today we are going to literally hack the way you approach, read, and digest all that dense academic research. We're talking maximum efficiency and maximum retention. Okay, let's just get right into it. Ask yourself, honestly, how do you normally read a textbook? If you're like most of us, you just lean on deeply ingrained habits. You open to page 1, you read it, then page 2, page 3, and you just keep going chronologically all the way to the end. It feels totally logical. But, as we're about to see, applying that same habit to academic research is actually a massive trap. So here is our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by avoiding the reading trap. Then we'll learn the unconventional hacker sequence, master our pacing with the 3-pass strategy, cover smart annotation, and wrap the whole thing up with structured note-taking. Let's get moving. Section 1, the reading trap, and exactly why that rookie mistake of reading sequentially from page 1 to the end simply does not work for research papers. The textbook approach fails because, well, textbooks are designed for learning facts. They build a foundation block by block, so reading from front to back makes perfect sense. But research papers, totally different beast. They aren't meant to teach you the basics. They exist to communicate a very specific research problem, a specific method, the evidence, and the overarching contribution. If you use a textbook reading strategy on a research paper, you're just going to get completely bogged down trying to evaluate that specific contribution. We absolutely need a different strategy. Which brings us to our solution. Section 2, the hacker sequence. Think of this as your insider pro tip. It's an unconventional, highly efficient reading order that's going to save you hours of wasted time. Here is the full 7-step sequence that is going to completely flip the script for you. Title, abstract, conclusion, figures and tables, methodology, results and discussion, and finally, the introduction. I know, right? It looks totally backwards. But this exact sequence lets you surgically extract the purpose, the contribution, and the relevance of a paper way before you get sucked into reading paragraphs of dense text. Let's break down exactly how this works. We start with steps 1 and 2, the title and the abstract, basically your ultimate first filter. Just from the title, you should instantly know the main topic, the research area, the method, and the application. Say a paper is titled Deep Learning-Based State of Church Estimation for Lithium-Ion Batteries in Electric Vehicles. Bam! You know the topic is battery SOC estimation, the method is deep learning, and it's for electric vehicles. If you can't tell what the research is about just from the title, it's not a great title. Then you hit the abstract, which is basically a mini version of the whole paper, to find that core problem, the method, the results, and the overall contribution. Now, step 3 is where it gets really interesting. We are reading the conclusion third. I know it feels so wrong to jump straight to the end, but trust me, it is an absolute game changer. The conclusion directly hands you the main findings, the contributions, what limitations still exist, and future work. Let's say it reveals that an AI model improved accuracy, but testing was strictly limited to laboratory conditions. Knowing that immediately tells you if these findings are actually useful for your own research, long before you waste an hour reading the complex methodology in the middle. Step 4 is checking the figures and tables. Papers communicate so much crucial info visually. So instead of slogging through walls of text, go straight to the system diagrams, the algorithm flowcharts, the performance graphs. More often than not, these visuals give you a much faster understanding of the experimental setup and the results than the text ever could. Next up, we group steps 5 and 6, the methodology and the results. This is where you dig into how they actually pulled the research off. What tools did they use? What data sets? And when you hit the results, do not just jot down a simple metric. Don't just write accuracy was 95%. You need to ask what exactly they found and, crucially, why they found it. A strong note would be something like, the algorithm achieved 95% accuracy because it automatically extracts features from battery voltage patterns. That why is the exact gold you need for your literature review. And finally, step 7, the introduction. Yep, we read it dead last. Why on earth would we do that? Because the intro contains the background, previous studies, and the main research gap. It is so much easier to understand the exact gap the paper is trying to fill only after you already understand the findings and the methods. You use the introduction to frame everything you just learned. Let's move into section 3, the 3-pass strategy, which builds a perfect framework for how you pace your attack on a dense PDF. This strategy is huge in research circles because it perfectly manages your time. It splits your reading into 3 distinct phases: overview, understanding, and critical reading. Pass 1 is the overview. This should literally only take you 5 to 10 minutes. Notice how it perfectly aligns with the start of our hackers sequence. You read the title, abstract, figures, and conclusion. Your single goal here is to answer one question. Is this paper relevant? If the answer is no, drop it. Move on. You only lost 5 minutes. If it survives that first pass, you move to pass 2, understanding. Now you're investing maybe 30 to 60 minutes. You read the intro, methodology, and results. The goal here is to genuinely grasp how the experimental setup works and how they executed their core approach. Then, the crucial part. Pass 3, critical reading. If you're writing a high-level literature review, this is where you need to be. You're not just trying to understand anymore. You are actively interrogating the text. You have to ask the hard stuff. Are these methods actually reliable? Are the results convincing? What are the real, actual limitations? And how does this stack up against other studies in the field? All right, Section 4, Smart Annotation. This is all about leaving your mark without turning the document into an unreadable mess.
Look, we've all seen those papers that are just absolutely drenched in neon highlighter. Don't do that. Do not highlight everything. Smart annotation is a targeted skill. It's not a coloring book. Strictly highlight 3 things: important concepts, key findings, like an explicit statement that accuracy improved by 12%, and specific limitations, like a small dataset size. Just keep it clean and highly targeted.
And that brings us to Section 5, Structured Note-Taking. This is where we translate all that efficient reading into real, usable output. It's the ultimate payoff. The difference between wasted effort and incredible utility is huge here. Think about a weak, generic note like, paper uses AI for batteries. If you write that down, it's completely useless when you sit down to write your review weeks later. Contrast that with this. Zhang et al. 2024 proposed a neural network model for lithium-ion battery SOC estimation. The model improved prediction accuracy compared with conventional methods. However, validation was limited to laboratory datasets. That is gold. It's detailed, deeply informative, and instantly ready to be dropped straight into a draft. To guarantee you're writing notes like that, you have to use a structured reading template. Don't just scribble on a blank page. A table like this is your ultimate cheat sheet to standardize things. It literally forces you to capture the paper title and year, the research problem, the methodology, the key findings, and, crucially, the limitations and relevance. Fill this out for every paper, and no critical information will ever slip through the cracks.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought. Whenever you apply the hacker sequence and the 3-pass strategy, always ask yourself, what specific information from this paper can actually support my own unique literature review? When you shift from being just a passive reader to an active evaluator, what else might you uncover that everyone else is just scanning right past? Keep that mindset front and center and watch your efficiency soar.